Hello everyone, so welcome again from Sui Summit, and I'm super happy to have our guest David Ticzon. He's from Sui Foundation. Actually has a very interesting journey that I hope he will share part of it at least. So David, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm David. My title is the Chief Degen of Sui, and I work at the Sui Foundation. Before that, I worked at Miston Labs, and originally I got involved with Sui, I guess since like the very beginning. So I was one of the original angel investors into Miston Labs, and so before that, I was doing Web3 venture capital. I worked at a firm that was one of the seed investors for Solana. I had led investments for Matrixport Ventures, and so I was looking for the next high performance blockchain. I really liked Solana, and that was the first parallel execution blockchains, but was looking for a chain that could outperform Solana performance, but also on developer experience, to have a developer experience that was 10x better than Solana. And so studying Solana, I saw pretty much everyone that developed on it did not like developing on Solana. They usually complained about the developer experience being chewing glass. And eventually I heard about this team leaving Facebook and ended up meeting their CEO, Evan, and then heard the pitch of what they were going to build, and it was going to be Sui, and was really impressed by the whole team. Their whole background of the team was totally different from anything else I saw in the Web3 space. And they had Sam, who created the Move language, and then Costas, who was this genius in cryptography. They had George, who was an expert in consensus, and Adamy, who had the great product mind. So it was pretty much a very well-rounded team. And so they eventually asked me to join full time, and I was really excited about doing that.
Oh wow! So they invited you, right? So you came the journey from being an investor, interested in the whole technology, the whole system they produce, and eventually inviting you to be part of the team.
Yeah.
I mean, the team is gods, right? I mean, Sam, like you mentioned, yes, Costas, George. I mean, this is the person I met personally, I know, but I guess the CEO as well. They have really top mentality and execution energy and everything.
Yeah, it was a totally different team. Most other chains usually have one person that's technical, one person's the business person, but at Sui, the backgrounds of the team was people that were experts in each of the areas that you needed to build a blockchain, and so they added innovations that you don't see in
very innovative team, right?
Yeah.
Very innovation oriented, but also energy. When you talk with those people, yes, they're excited. They know what they want to build. It's not just a business. They have more than just a business and a vision. Yes, they have know-how. They have a vision. They know what to want to build. This is very often actually me myself. I'm an engineer. When I talk with people, when I was working with many projects, often founders they have an idea what to build. It can be a very rough idea or very cloudy one, but they have no clue about the solution. Right? It can be a super abstract, and we actually can see it very often. The way how projects are pitching, how they want to get money. Of course, they create a story. Mm-hmm. This is how you get money, yes, by storytelling. But this team is not only storytelling. This team is visionary team that delivers, that already has a solution in the head. And I would claim that 95% or even more, 99% of the teams, yes, has just this cloudy business idea without a solution in the head. Mm. Do you think the same?
Yeah, I think the same. Yeah, the team definitely has strong opinions about what is the future of Web3, and other teams usually don't have a very strong vision of what it will be.
Yeah, I mean those are opinions, yes, but here I mean the solution mentorship. It's there. Cool. So it was Solana your first blockchain that you get involved in, let's say, on a regular basis?
Yeah, I guess on the most regular basis, with Solana, I guess follow Bitcoin and Ethereum before. for.
Interesting.
It's like the chain I focus on like heavily.
Solana. And why was that? Is it because it was super popular in the Bay Area?
So yeah, I guess in the Bay Area, that's where the team was from, like in San Francisco, and like the VC firm I was working for at the time. Yeah, had been like the first investor into like Solana, so I was like studying Solana and someone cared about it and saw it grow.
So you're still on a daily basis in SF, right?
Yeah, I'm still in SF.
Area.
Yeah, so I'm still living there.
So what's the of course now like the hot thing is AI in the Bay Area, but if you go to the street, which blockchains people talk about?
So I guess they're in the Bay Area. I guess like Sui definitely has like a strong like presence.
Okay.
And yeah, I wish Cosmos actually has like a very good like group of people out there.
Cosmos going down all the time, right?
But I guess I guess a lot of like there's a good like amount of like very Cosmos like focused like people there. And yeah, I guess AI is like the thing that most people focus on. Like,
interesting. So I'm coming from the very deep Cosmos background. Yes, I was a lead engineer there. We also natively started building native as a Cosmos chain, trying to get that neutral position, right? But interestingly enough, now Cosmos narrative was kind of going really down last year, even though there were many projects building on it. But the VC, I would say at least perception. Do you observe a little bit of renaissance now, especially with Mantra doing 400x, Story doing well, Initia going to the market? Do you see some renaissance in Cosmos?
Yeah, I guess we always have like interesting people building in that ecosystem, even from like the previous cycles.
Right.
So yeah, I guess there still is like activity there, and I guess even the Bay Area.
Sure.
People
those are like many app chains, right? Mm-hmm. But here we go with Sui. Yeah? So we decided to focus on Sui. You yourself as well. Yeah, they see that innovation, and it's for us. Yeah, it's one also of the reason. That's why we changed our focus and put top priority as first to deliver our Bitcoin abstraction, Bitcoin yield product. Yeah, so native, yes, again, native is our vision for native is this one-click interoperability and make it possible for users. Very easy yield solutions. Mm. Yeah, so you have tons of different, financial products out there, and the finance is basically this natural way how the yield is generated, because you have a supply and demand, and those forces always define the yield and the interest rates. The same thing like how it works everywhere. And so this is our mission. Yes, one click, provide Bitcoin. It's for any DeFi solution out there. Yes, and we found ourselves Sui as the best place to start, because this is the most, not the most, but the ecosystem with innovative builders, with a lot of innovation, great tech, but more than anything else, actually, the financial interest. As the TVL is growing rapidly, right? There is a really growing interest in DeFi in Sui. So that was the narrative of gaming in Sui. Do you remember? Like last year, I think Sui was mainly focusing on the gaming.
Yeah, I guess that's still like a big initiative for us.
Right.
So even Sui's gonna have a big presence at GDC next week.
Huh.
But I guess to have a really thriving gaming ecosystem, deep into ecosystem, etc., it all starts with DeFi. Because you need to have that liquidity there to actually drive, and I guess the usage later on. And
the money is always there, right?
So yeah, you have to have the money sitting on the chain first. So I guess we've been heavily focused on DeFi, or a lot of strong teams building the DeFi space, and also the Bitcoin liquidity has been a big part of our focus right now throughout the board.
So yeah, even for gaming, why would you do a game on the blockchain? Yes, I guess the two main reasons to do the game on maybe free. So one reason is the money aspect, so you can easily trade. Second is probably the asset aspect. So you have your asset, nobody can steal it from you. It's secured by a chain. You can or a character, your hero, whatever. Yeah, so that the game asset, right? Mm-hmm. And the third one probably would be, which doesn't exist today. Yeah, so much in the blockchain because it's kind of regulated business, the gambling part. Yes, if I want to casino, a poker game. So I guess you just highlighted there's a DeFi games. That makes more sense. So what's your thesis here for DeFi and Sui?
Yeah, I guess Sui is like the easiest chain to use for the users. I guess with things like ZK login, easy onboarding for the users. Developers can build on Sui faster. A lot of developers say, we're actually much more productive building on Sui with how easy it is for the dev experience. Sui is also safer too, so there's no doubt Move is safer for users' assets. And so if you're going to have big institutions come in, you need a platform that's safe and doesn't have major hacks and vulnerabilities. And so Move was created at Facebook and created by Sam because Facebook didn't feel comfortable with the existing virtual machines and languages, and so they had to set out to create Move.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you were investing in Solana and in Sui, yes, particularly one of the early investors. Is there any scope of the applications you see that would be better suited for Solana than for Sui?
So I guess Solana's definitely gone very, degen in theme. That's when that most of the activity is, and I guess we haven't gone full on into that sphere as them. But I guess the thing that really makes Sui unique, I think, is the developer experience, also the composability elements.
Right.
So we have a thing called PTBs, programmable transaction blocks. It makes it really easy to make the chain composable. And
that's kind of easy, right? Because you don't need to manage all of these dependencies for a single transaction. You just compose the transactions.
And Solana is a similar thing called Solana instructions. It's a pain in the ass to use. No one really uses it at all. And so I guess the thing that I think really stands out about Sui, and is what Web3 is what makes Web3 special, is this composability element that all these different apps and protocols can put together and make really unique experiences. And that's something that you don't get when you're just building an app chain or a chain with a bunch of layer 2s, layer 3s, and that's very fragmented. Sui's an experience that you can have as a user that's very friendly and allows these unique composability elements to happen.
Yeah, and this is totally different than we see in other blockchains, right? It's a different way how we do it. I remember I was doing also a bunch of stuff with Algorand. In Algorand, there's also this concept that you can have a block of transactions or groups, transaction group. So it's a very similar concept, by the way, yes, to what Sui is offering. Okay, tell me a little bit about Bitcoin. So we want to. We are heavily focused on Bitcoin. We want to provide that Bitcoin liquidity to any DeFi protocol out there, but also for Bitcoin users, it's more opportunities for making their Bitcoin more capital efficient. In a way that if you have money, right, you don't keep all your assets in the cash or cash deposits, right? You probably, yes, if you have a good revenue, yes, if you have savings, then most of your savings will be in, bonds, stocks, or crypto, right? How do you see it evolving in Bitcoin? And what do you think, what's the opportunity in Sui for Bitcoin users?
Yeah, so we're highly interested in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is talked about in our strategic meetings and with our partners all the time. Right now, it's one of our big priorities for the year. And so Bitcoin is the biggest asset in all of Web3 by a long shot. And I think Bitcoin definitely has a unique position in all of Web3. There'll be Web3 chains that come and go, but Bitcoin is here to stay as that digital gold. And I think for the long term, Bitcoin's going to be around. And even when you look at the top 10 of chains over the last decade, a lot of those tokens don't exist anymore, but Bitcoin's always been number one. And so Bitcoin, there hasn't been that many people actually using it in the DeFi space yet, and we found that to be a really unique opportunity that Bitcoin users can participate in the world of DeFi, earn yield, and I think BTCFi has great potential but like no chain has really gone out there to actually build like an experience that actually onboarded Bitcoin. And so I guess like Sui being like well positioned across the things that we mentioned, it's like well suited for like Bitcoin.
The DeFi efficiency, security, you know, the tech itself, right? But also the focus on DeFi and the focus on, you know, the adoption, is like the growing the growing TVL. That's definitely is, you know, I mean, from our perspective, it's also interesting. Why do you think this Bitcoin renaissance didn't happen yet?
So I think a lot of the solutions that exist right now is like too clunky. A lot of Bitcoin people are very security cautious, and I guess rightfully so. They don't like bridging in the traditional way. They don't like some of these like different chains, and just they haven't found it to be like anything. I guess with the community that gets them excited with like the tech that they can trust, and
so one of our theses was, you know, I mean, we went through that whole journey, yes, from trying to solve problems in the Bitcoin ecosystem directly, you know, because last year there were around 100 Bitcoin L2s. None of them was actually L2, technically speaking, yes, but you know, now half of them are dying. So one reason how we were like trying to understand the framing is that, you know, if you have that Bitcoin that appreciates, you know, 2x, 3x, 4x every cycle, let's say, then why would you take a risk and, you know, some gambling if your Bitcoin is just, you know, year by year on average more valuable, yes, and you get better yield just for holding it in dollar terms than playing with it, right? But that will stop at some point or slow down, right? Like you cannot go, you know, 4x 4 years or whatever, indefinitely. And now, like, if we can combine secure solutions, solid solutions, reducing the risk, then actually now this compounding interest of even 10-20% already is interesting. I think because even if you think about those Bitcoin cycles, previously, in the previous cycle, yes, I mean the 2 cycles back, the top was what, 16,000 if I remember correctly, 16 to 17,000.
For last, I think it was like around 67.
No, two cycles back.
Or 2 cycles ago.
That was, I think, 16, 17, 1,000. That was the top.
It was about like 20,000. Was like around like 2 cycles ago.
Was it? Did it hit 2,000?
Somewhere.
Okay, so let's say even to 20,000, right? So I think it was a little bit below. I think it didn't reach 20.
But about there.
So let's say 20,000, and then it topped to what? 70?
Yeah, it was about like, I think it was like probably like 69, like 1,000.
So we got,
so that was
so
like
let's say 3.5 times up.
About there. Yes, around 20 to.
So now, I mean, we see where we will go. I don't like the word cycle anymore because we are, you know, like there's just, you know, macroeconomy. Bitcoin, you know, like getting to the level it is today, yes, with a $2 trillion market capitalization, it will need to break its own cycles and enter the macro cycle. That's so.
Definitely, it's like changing, and even like the halvings were like the big thing for like Bitcoin. But now the market cap is so large, and the halving like effect, like it was before going from like 50 Bitcoin to like 25 like Bitcoin. I think it was down to 6.25.
Exactly, now it's 6.25.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess like halving was having a less of an effect.
Sure, yeah, because now it's really the capital demand. Right? You don't need a halving to skyrocket Bitcoin to, let's say, 500,000. It will be like all of a sudden you will have big orders, from administration, from countries, and all that, Bitcoin reserve narrative, which is still vague. Yes, and this is not. I mean, it's cool. Yes, I mean, I'm working in this ecosystem, but it's not like a debate I want to make, right? That all these people talking about Bitcoin going to 1 million. Eventually, yes, but this is not the bet I want to make from this year, right? So, what I want to say is that the previous cycle, we got like 3.5x up. Now we made 50% up so far. Yeah,
because I guess it reached about 100,000.
Yeah, I mean like just counting from the tops. So if you assume the top was 70, so now it's 110, so a little bit more 50% up. Yeah, so now all of a sudden there's 10, 20, 30% additional compounding yield that you can get. It's interesting, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, because now you don't only have the 50%, but 50% times 20%, so times 120, right? Times, so the power it over a year, then in 2 years it's 150%, so 50% up. Yeah, so you already double actually whatever the cycle made so far. So what do you think about Bitcoin specifically in Sui? Do you think that how being part of the Sui Foundation? What's your vision?
Yeah, so we definitely talk about like BTC Fi on like Sui all the time. I guess we're definitely growing our presence in the Bitcoin, the community space like right now, and there hasn't been like any like smart contract chain that I guess like the Bitcoin people would really trust, and so we definitely like want Sui to be that, and so definitely want I guess our TBL to continue growing with I guess like Bitcoin being deployed onto Sui, and I guess like projects like what you're doing like right now is like something that we find highly interesting. Of people find unique new like technology to bring like Sui.
So today in Sui, yes, we have a Lombard Bitcoin,
yes,
which is a custodian one. Yes, it's a bridge custodian Bitcoin, and Sui will become the first ever chain out there that will have able to control native Bitcoin, yes, through native and ICA. And so we are spin from ICA, and this is our mission, yes, to create a Bitcoin abstraction for Sui. What makes us unique, because near chain abstraction is doing something similar, is the security model. That we can make it 100% non-collusive. Even if 100% of the operators collude, your Bitcoin is safe. Do you think this is important? Do you think this is something that Sui Foundation should go ahead and really market it as a unique solution that Sui provides, that not any other ecosystem can provide?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think it's like a big like selling like point, and like why we're excited about working with you, and like what Eco too.
Cool.
So,
then you need to do more.
Yeah, so we're definitely gonna be I guess working with you a lot more in the future, and so we're excited for like what's happening this year and like what we're gonna do in like the Bitcoin space.
So outside of Bitcoin, let's wrap up now. What else excites you about Web3 in general?
Yeah, so I think there's gonna be like broader adoption of like Web3. And I think it's going to happen like rather quickly. So we have like some like partnerships lined up to hopefully make Sui like the most used like blockchain like this year. And so there's going to be like some players coming into the Web3 space that have selected Sui and are like household names. So I guess I'm excited for that. So the broader adoption of like Web3 technology with Sui. I think our whole vision of why Miston Labs and Sui existed was not to be this niche thing anymore. Like Web3 has to go mainstream and be used by like average like regular people. And that's why we have our technology to be heavily focused on being usable for not just the Web3 natives.
And that's what I love about Sui, yes, is that because now everyone talks about adoption. We're going to onboarding 1 billion users. Yes, but not everyone has a solution how to do it or an idea. Everyone just tries to sell it. But I think Sui is the first one and the only one so far that is like really going into that direction.
Yeah, I think so too. And the team's like the most like innovative, the best team technical wise, and we have like very broad and very like strong views that we have the best tech out there. And like if Web3 is going to go mainstream, like we're the ones to do it.
Okay, cool. Thank you, David, for your time. Any last notes to our listeners? Something that you want to communicate? I know, invite to follow you.
Yeah, you can follow me like on X. It's just my name, so like David Ticzon. And thanks for having me.
Thank you, David.